The man calmly explains the chemical components of a cigarette with professional authority, but deep down, he knows the truth. This rowdy classroom is merely a sanctuary for him to escape the battlefield, an anesthetic used to suppress his PTSD. Little does he know, the seemingly ordinary liberal studies class is propelling him toward a fateful showdown fueled by decades of resentment. His name is Chen Xia, a former elite U.S. Navy SEAL. The brutality of war drove him to leave the service. Returning home, he became a secondary school teacher. He was assigned to the most delinquent class in the school. The students greeted him on his first day with pranks and chaos. Chen Xia didn't lose his cool. He saw right through the students' defiance. He needed to establish order in a language they understood. He pulled 2 rubber bands from a box and grabbed a piece of chalk. An improvised slingshot was ready in an instant. Calculating angle and force, he aimed for the ceiling sprinkler. The chalk struck the valve with precision. Icy water surged, instantly snapping the chaotic classroom to attention. This was his first lesson. In the face of absolute power, all rules are rewritten. The next day, the class was quiet, but their hearts remained defiant. The students were listless, resisting everything in the textbooks. Once again, Chen Xia defied convention. He walked up to a troubled student, Chen Weizong, and confiscated his hidden cigarettes. He proposed a deal: answer 3 questions about cigarettes correctly, and he could leave. Question 1. Name the chemical components of a cigarette: nicotine, tar, and carbon monoxide. The student answered with ease. Keeping his word, Chen Xia let him go. The curiosity of the entire class was ignited. He took the chance to deconstruct this tiny cigarette through science, economics, and philosophy. He told them that knowledge is not a shackle, but a tool to see the world clearly and protect oneself. By the end of the lesson, the unruly class felt a first spark of respect for this teacher. However, the peace was soon shattered. During lunch, a conflict erupted between Chen Xiao's class and the elite class. To make an example of them, the school decided to expel 5 students led by Li Weizong. Chen Xia refused to give up on a single student. He stood his ground with the principal and won them a chance to sign apology letters. But as he rushed back with the letters, he stumbled into a second confrontation. An elite student used the word orphan to salt Li Weizong's deepest wound. Overwhelmed by the world's injustice, Li Weizong refused to sign the letter and walked away. Chen Xia decided to conduct a home visit. In a dilapidated public housing estate, he met Li Weizong's frail, elderly grandmother. He only then learned that when the boy was 5, his parents died in a car accident, leaving him and his grandmother to rely solely on each other. To help make ends meet, Li Weizong had long since dropped out, pretending to attend class while actually working illegally at a boxing gym for money. Chen Xia did not expose the lie. He paid out of his own pocket under the guise of a scholarship, handing the money to the grandmother to preserve the boy's last shred of dignity. Then, he headed to that seedy boxing gym. The moment he stepped inside, he heard Li Weizong's cries for help. Following the sound, he found his student locked inside a metal locker. A group of fighters were amusing themselves at the boy's expense. Chen Xia's gaze shifted as his battlefield instincts instantly resurfaced. Using a toothbrush as an improvised weapon, he struck his opponent's pressure points with precision, taking them down with a single blow. A brute ambushed him from behind and slammed him to the ground. Chen Xia grabbed a power twister from the floor to use as a baton. With a powerful swing, he sent the man flying. He weaponized everything around him, from cabinets to ropes, masterfully utilizing the environment as he would in special operations. Infuriated, the gym's champion entered the fray himself. Overwhelmed by the champion's superior strength and fierce onslaught, Chen Xia was momentarily pinned down, but he quickly spotted an opening, grabbed a bottle of body lotion, and smeared it across the champion's face to instantly blind him. Then followed a relentless whirlwind of counterattacks. Ultimately, both men were left battered and collapsed to the floor. After this battle, Li Weizong was completely won over by his teacher and returned to school. News of Chen Xia's daring solo rescue also hit the headlines. His background as a Navy SEAL and a former student turned him into a campus legend overnight. The students idolized him, their passion for learning soared, and their grades improved dramatically. But just as things were looking up, a crisis emerged. A developer set their sights on the school's land. The Education Bureau issued an ultimatum due to the school's consistently low academic performance. If this class fails to meet the standards, the school will be shut down. Developer Luo Jianying, determined not to let his luxury project fail, decided to intervene. On the day of the exam, he used technical means to spoof Chen Xia's phone number. He sent a mass text to the class, luring the students to the basketball court and locking them in. Sensing something was wrong, Chen Xia rushed to the scene. Alone, he stood his ground against dozens of thugs, fighting a way out for his students. When he finally confronted the mastermind, Luo Jianying, he was shocked to find that his opponent was an old classmate from his middle school days. A long-buried past finally surfaced. Back then, Luo Jianying was a gifted young pianist, while Chen Xia was a the two clashed during a school ceremony. In the chaos, Chen Xia accidentally knocked over a statue. The statue's heavy arm crushed Luo Jianying's right hand, shattering his dreams of becoming a musician. Old and new grudges completely ignited Luo Jianying's fury. He lunged at Chen Xia like a man possessed. The two engaged in a life-and-death struggle on the familiar campus. From the corridors to the classrooms, they used trophies, desks, and window bars, attacking each other with anything they could grab. Luo Jianying even drew a dagger. During the scuffle, Chen Xia was stabbed in the arm, blood gushing out. Yet, with his superior combat skills, he finally pinned Luo Jianying down. But at the very moment he could have ended it all, he stopped. He looked at the contorted face of his former classmate. He raised the dagger and plunged it into his own thigh. He chose this way to repay the debt from years ago. A long overdue apology finally broke Luo Jianying, and his years of resentment dissolved. Meanwhile, the students overcame all obstacles to reach the exam hall. They wrote with determination and saved their school with record-breaking results. Chen Xia became the most respected senior brother to all the students. He proved that a good teacher does more than just impart knowledge, they save souls.